Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to work on this black sheep. I've already made one in white, but there were a lot of requests to have it made in black, so here I am. I hope you'll enjoy making this with me. It's a fun tutorial, so do stay till the end. So to begin with, you will need some beige yarn. That's for the head and the legs and the arms. I'll be using black for the body, and then of course there's something else I'll explain later. You can either use black or cream. You will need your embroidery yarn for the nose, 10 mm eyes, 2 mm crochet hook. I've got something stuck here. 2 mm crochet hook, and then your scissors and needles. So let's begin with the head first. So for the head, we're going to use the beige yarn. Let's start with the magic ring. And 6 single crochets inside it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Close the ring, not too tight for the first round, because it's always difficult. I always struggle to find the first stitch. So I'm just going to let it loose for now, and we'll tighten it later. So where's my tail end? I always like to use my tail end to mark my beginning of the round. So let's begin round 2. Round 2 is an increase in all of the 6 stitches. So by the end of round 2, you should be having a total of 12 stitches. I'm almost done with my 6 increase. There you go. Now you can tighten your ring. Round 3 is single crochet, increase 6 times. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times. 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase 6 times, and by the end you should be having 24 stitches. Round 5 is 3 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times. 3 single crochet, 1 increase, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. Round 6 is 4 single crochets and increase 6 times. So 4 single crochet, increase, 4 single crochet, increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 36 stitches. Round 5 is increase, 1 increase, and 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 increase and 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you do this a total of 6 times. Increase 5, and by the end of the round you should be having 42 stitches. round 8, 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochet increase. This also 6 times, 6 single crochet increase, and by the end of the round you should be having 48 stitches. Now on rounds 9 to 12 you go ahead and single crochet 48 straight stitches. So 4 rows of 48 stitches, and I'll get back to you. So here I am. I'm done my 4 rows of 48 stitches. Now let's move on to round 13. Round 13 is 7 single crochet increase 6 times. So by the end of the round you should be having 54 stitches. So you do that and I'll get back to you. 7 single crochet increase 6 times. Alright, now it's time to place the eyes. So as always, what I do is I fold this into half, and from the first round you count up to the 10th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just going to mark this for my center point. Doesn't matter. You can use any one of them. Now we need to place them 15 stitches apart. So let's count the center point as the first 1 stitch, and we go 7 stitches here and 7 stitches here. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So after the 7th stitch you place your eye. Do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just after the 7 you place your eye. Take this out. Let's secure it with the cap. There you go. So we have our eyes here. What I usually like to do, after I'm sure that I've got my 15 stitches and the correct row, I just turn this aside, take a lighter or anything, whatever you have in hand, and then just like so. Like to place it like, do this so that when I'm filling in the eyes it doesn't move. Let's do the same with the other one. Now you do this only after you've got your counts, your stitches put in the correct count, and then we'll move forward. Now from here on, round 14 to 22, you go and single crochet 54 straight stitches. So that's 9 rounds. You do that and then we'll meet again. So I'm finished with my 9 rows of 54 single crochets. Let's move on to round 23 now. So round 23 is 7 single crochets and a decrease 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 decrease. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 48 stitches. Round 24 is 1 decrease and 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 decrease, 6 single crochet, 6 times in total, and by the end of the round you should be having 42 stitches. Round 25 is 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet, decrease, do this also 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 36 stitches. Round 26, 1 decrease and 4 single crochets 6 times. You do this, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. Now it's time to add the stuffing. So you also go ahead and stuff your head. Make sure, like I always say, to push it from the sides slowly. Don't make it too tight. If it needs more filling, add some more. Mine needs more, so I'm going to add more. Now round 27 is 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3 single crochets and a decrease. So you do this also 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 28 is 1 decrease and 2 single crochets. So that's 1 and 2. So you do this also 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 29 is a single crochet and decrease 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 12 stitches. The last round, round 30, is 6 decrease. So that's 1. Please, if you need to stuff your head the last time, please go ahead and do it before closing this round. So make sure it's nice and firm and bouncy. Shape it, and then only you close it. Once you feel you're satisfied with your stuffing, then you go ahead and then close it. So, almost there. And there we're done. A slip stitch here. And we'll weave in the ends later. For now, just leave a small tail. Can't find my scissors anyway. And then we're done with our head. So we'll start with the body. I'll be using the black yarn. You can use the cream one if you wish, but at the moment I'm also using this fuzzy yarn, but I'd say this is for an intermediate level because it's quite a challenge to find the stitches. So it's only with experience, and if you know how to go about, I would suggest you use this. Otherwise, for now, let's just stick to the basics. So we'll move on with the black yarn and start with the body. So to begin with, let's start with the magic ring and 6 single crochets inside it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Round 2 is 6 single 2 increase in all of the 6 stitches. So by the end of the round, which is round 2, you should be having 12 stitches. There you go. Round 3 is a single crochet and 1 increase 6 times. By the end of the round, you should be having 18 stitches. Round 4 is 1 increase and 2 single crochets 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 5 is 3 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. So you go ahead and do that for 6 times, and I'll meet you again. Round 6 is increase, 1 increase and 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 36 stitches. Round 7 is 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. You do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 42 stitches. Round 8 is 1 increase and 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you do this also 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 48 stitches. So from round 9 to 14, you go ahead and single crochet 48 straight stitches, which is 6 rows. 6 rows of 48 stitches. You do that and I'll get back to you. So I'm done with my 6 rows of 48 stitches. Let's move on to round 15. Round 15 is 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets and 1 decrease. You do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 42. Round 16 and 17, you need to single crochet 42 straight stitches. So for 2 rows you single crochet 42 straight stitches, and I'll get back to you. Round 18 is 5 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 single crochets and a decrease. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 36 stitches. Round 19 and 20, you go ahead and single crochet 36 straight stitches, and then I'll see you again. 2 rows of 36 stitches. Round 21 is 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 decrease. You do this 6 times in total, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. Round 22 and 23, you go ahead and single crochet 30 straight stitches, and then I'll get back to you. Now it's time to add your stuffing. So just press it gently from the sides and fill it up like so. You go ahead and do that, and we'll continue with the body. So round 24 is a 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3 single crochet and a decrease round. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 25 and 26, you go ahead and single crochet 24 straight stitches. So you do that for 2 rows, and then I'll get back to you. Round 27 is 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and 1 decrease. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Now the last 2 rows, 28 and 29, is again 8 single crochets. So you do that for 2 rows of 18 straight stitches, and then we are done with our body. So now that we finished with the body, let's go back to the beige yarn and start with our legs. So to do that, make a magic ring, and 6 single crochets inside it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull the ring, but not too tight, as finding the first stitch is always a struggle. So let's move on to round 2. Round 2 is 6 increase in all of the 6 stitches. So by the end you should be having 12 stitches. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you can pull the ring tight. So round 3 is single crochet, one single crochet and increase. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times. So you do that, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 5, 3 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times this also, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, increase 6 times. Round 6 is 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 increase. You do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 36 stitches. Round 7 and 8, you single crochet 36 straight stitches. So for 2 rows you single crochet 36 stitches, and I'll get back to you. Round 9 is 4 single crochets and a decrease. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. So you do the 6 times 4 single crochet decrease, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. Round 10, you go ahead and single crochet 30 straight stitches, and I'll get back to you. Round 11 is 3 single crochets and a decrease. You do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 12, once again you go ahead and single crochet 24 straight stitches, and then I'll get back to you. Round 13 is 2 single crochets and a decrease 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 14, 18 straight stitches. Now you go ahead and add your stuffing, and we'll move on to round 15. Round 15 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, 1 decrease. So you do that 2 times, and by the end you should be having 4 stitches left. So you go ahead and single crochet the 4 stitches. So 5 single crochet decrease 2 times, and at the end 4 single crochets. So by the end of the round you should be having 16 stitches. Now round 16 to 30, which is 15 rows, you go ahead and single crochet 16 straight stitches. 15 rows, 16 straight stitches, and I'll get back to you. So here I am, I'm done with my 16 rows. Now the last row, row 31, is 2 single crochet and decrease 4 times. So 1, 2 single crochets and decrease. So you do this 4 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 12 stitches, and then we're done with the leg. Let's move on to the arms now. For that, we need to take the beige yarn again and then form a magic ring. So, six single crochets inside it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is always the first round. Round 2 is increase in each of the 6 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So round 2, you should have a total of 12 stitches. Round 3 is 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 6 times. So by the end of the round, you should be having 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochets and 1 increase, 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Rounds 5 to 8, you go ahead and single crochet 24 stitches. That's 4 rows of 24 stitches. You do that and I'll get back to you. So I'm done till my 8th row. Let's move on to round 9. Round 9 is 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. So you do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 10, you go ahead and single crochet 18 straight stitches. There's no increase or decrease here. You do that and I'll see you again. Round 11 is 1 decrease, 1 single crochet 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 12 stitches. So you go ahead and do that and we'll meet again. Now before we move on, please go ahead and add your stuffing. Make sure it's nice and firm and tight, but be mindful not to overstuff it, and then we'll move on to the next round. So once I'm done with this, rounds 12 to 27, which is 16 rows. So you need to go and single crochet 16 rows of 12 single crochets, and I'll get back to you. So here I am. I'm done with my 16 rows. Let's move on to row 28. Row 28 is a decrease, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet. This is 4 times. Decrease, what's happening? So that's decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, crease and 1 single crochet, and by the end of the round you should be having 8 stitches. And there we are done. Slip stitch, and that's it. So we're done with the leg. Let's move on to the ear now. Once again, we'll be working with the beige and the black yarn together. First, let's work with the beige. So once again, you need to make a magic ring and 6 single crochets inside it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Close the ring. So this is round 1, 6 single crochet. Round 2 is an increase in each of the stitches, so that's 6 increase. So 1, 2 increase, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So round 2, 12 stitches. Round 3 is single crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. So you do this 6 times, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochets and 1 increase, 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 5 is 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 1 increase. You do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. So I'm done with my beige yarn. Just take a long tail and leave this aside for now. We'll work on the black one now. So just like how we did 5 rounds with the beige, you go ahead and do the same for 5 rounds, and then I will see you again. So here I am. I've done the 5 rows of the beige and the 5 rows of the black. Now what you need to do is make sure this is in the front, the 2 back sides together, and make how many? 30 single crochets. So let's do that. 1 stitch from the black, 1 from the beige. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you continue until you come to the last stitch, and I'll meet you again. So here I am. I've finished with my 30 stitches. Now what you need to do is you fold it like so, and get this first stitch and this stitch at the back, and single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Leave it like that for now. Secure it with a slip stitch and cut a long tail to attach them later. And then we're done with our ears as well. You go ahead and make your second one. You can cut this off as well. I've already made mine, so I've got my 2 ears ready. Now let's move on to the last part of the sheep. This is going to be the head or the hair, whatever you want to call it. Now, because I'm using black yarn to make the body, so I'll be using the black yarn to make the hair. If you're using cream yarn for the body, use cream. White for the body, white. So let's begin with the hair. For that also, you need to make a magic ring. And you need to have 6 single crochets inside it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull the ring, not too tight. Round 2 is 2 single increase in each of the stitches. So that's 6 increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's round 2, 12 stitches. Round 3, single crochet increase 6 times. So you go ahead and do that. Single crochet increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 18 stitches. Round 4 is 2 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 24 stitches. Round 5 is 3 single crochets and 1 increase. You do this 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 30 stitches. Round 6 is 4 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 36 single crochets. Round 7 is 5 single crochets, 3, 4, 5 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 42 stitches. Round 8 is 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets and 1 increase 6 times, and by the end of the round you should be having 48 stitches. Round 9 is 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochet, 1 increase. Do this also 6 times. 7 single crochet, 1 increase, and by the end of the round you should be having 54 stitches. Now from the 10th row you go ahead and single crochet 8 rows of 54 stitches, and I'll get back to you. So just a small correction, you are to make 10 rows and not 8 rows of 54 stitches. So from the 10th round to the 19th round you have to make 10 rows of 54 single crochet. So here I'm already done with my 10 rows, so I'm just going to finish it off, leave a long tail again to attach it later, and then here I am done. So actually what you need to do is you need to put it here like so. If you see 1, 2, 3, just 3 rows above the eyes, and then we are done with our hair, cap, whatever you want to call it. So before we attach all of them, let's just finish with the details of the face. So take a long yarn. I think mine's a bit too long, but anyways, so from the side take it to this corner. I hope you can see it properly, and then so you go the opposite corner and to the other side. Like so, and again take it to the opposite corner and back to where we put in our thread, yarn, sorry. So put it back there, and just make sure there, that's it. That's how you indent the eyes. If you need to, you can just pull a little bit here and a little bit there, and then you go ahead and tie this off. I'm happy with the way it's looking. Tie it off. And cut off the yarn. Use 1 minute. So I'm just using my tweezers to put this in. There you go. Now let's make the eye, the white of the eyes. Once again, take some white yarn, and you can start from here actually. So you go to the cornermost part of the eye, take it round and back. Don't pull this too tight because again you won't be able to see it. 1 minute. There you go. Now let's go back again and do the same with the other one. So you go to the cornermost. You can use a long needle, but I prefer to use my old one here. Oh, okay, I may have found it, yes. So here also, from here to here. Another way of securing your eye is after you go back to the top corner, go in here like so, and this way you will not have your eye go inside, not the eye, the thread, the white one. So yeah, you can do that as well. Again, go back. Oh no, see, this is what I mean. If you're happy, then you can just go back to the point where we started, and then I think I'm okay with that. I'm satisfied. Again, give it a tie. Cut off the yarn. And then just give it a tug. Oh, I mean, push it in. There you have it. So we're done with our eye. We'll work on the nose later on. But for now, let's start with the assembling. So we've got the head, the body, the legs, the arms, the ears, and the hair. So let's start with the hair first. So just take your hair and make sure it's 1, 2, 3, just above the third row from the eye. So that's 1, 2, 3. I think you've got it there, and you can roll it slowly, just yeah, you do that. And take your needle and start with your stitches. So So you go and do this all the way around, and I'll see you here. So here I am. I've come to the end of this round. So what you need to do is just bind it off like so, and just there you have it. So I've placed the ears, so just go straight like that, okay, and then leave one row and start from the second. So let's do that together. So without moving I'm just going there. Take this off now. Go to the other side. There you have it. You can turn it on like that also. So you go ahead and do the same with the other side. Just place your needle. See, it's aligned, and after the second row. So you go ahead and do that, and I'll see you. So now that we're finished with the ears, let's move on to the body. So just below the black row, you turn around and see that it's in the center, and then you start with your, or just a second, just place your pins so that it doesn't move. Like so. Yes, make sure that it's in the center. Yeah, now you go at the back and start from here. One more time, check if it's in the center, and continue with your stitching. One moment. Please keep checking that it's in the center, otherwise you'll have to redo it again, like I do it so many times. Oopsie, this is what happens. There you go. So just go around and keep checking to see that your center has not moved. Once you get halfway, it gets easier. So here I am, I'm done with the attachment. I think it's in the center. I do get obsessed sometimes. Anyway, so let's move on to the arms now. So for the arm, just have a look at the eye and you go straight down here and on the first row itself, place it like so, like here, exactly here, and then you just sew it. Let me give a closer look. So again, one more time, just right here. I'm going to go here because that's where it's going to come out, like so. Again. Find it here. Turn your work. There you have it. And that's it. There you have it. Here I've gone and attached my other arm as well. Now let's move on to the legs. So let's fix the leg now. So what you need to do is count 10 rows from the bottom, and just above the 10th row align it with the arm and just sew them together. On the other side as well. it's too, I don't know how to show them. So that's how you do it. You go ahead and make the other one as well, and then we'll move on to the nose and the mouth. So let's see, let's find the center point and go in here. One, two, the second stitch, and do the same the other side as well. 1, 2. Like so. And I'll just take this aside. Like so. So you go ahead and just follow the way I'm doing it. Once you finish till here, we'll meet again. So here I am. I've finished with the nose. Let's go back to the mouth now. So you leave this for now. Take this thread and from here go back up here. Just give it a little tug. Please don't mind, that was my husband at the back. Got a very bad cough. So just give it a tug and tie it up. Like so. And take your needles once again. Needle rather, and just weave in. Do the same with the other one. And just cut it off. And there you have it. Our black sheep is ready. So if you enjoyed making this with me, please do come back again for more tutorials. Thank you so much for watching.